Today's topic of discussion is about transcription and translation. To begin with, let us first discuss about the definitions. First, transcription. What is transcription? It is a synthesis of single-stranded RNA from the double-stranded DNA template. So through transcription, RNA is formed from the DNA. So which type of RNA is formed here? It produces messenger RNA called as mRNA. So thus formed RNA undergoes translation now. What is translation here? It is the first stage of protein biosynthesis from the RNA. In this process, formation of the polypeptide by using the mRNA as a template is happening. It occurs in the ribosomes. So through translation, proteins are formed from the RNA. Let us now discuss about transcription process in detail. Transcription is a synthesis of mRNA from the DNA template which occurs in the 5' to 3' direction. Remember this point, synthesis is occurring in 5' to 3' direction. So during transcription, DNA sequence is read by an RNA polymerase which produces a complementary and anti-parallel RNA strand. And transcription is the first step leading to the gene expression. So let us have a basic idea of what is happening in transcription. So the result of transcription is mRNA formation. So mRNA which is formed from the transcription is finally forming the proteins. Now let us discuss about how the transcription process is taking place in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. If you can see in this picture, in prokaryotes, transcription is taking place in the cytoplasm, whereas in eukaryotes, transcription is taking place in the nucleus. In prokaryotes, coupled transcription and translation is the rule. That means transcription and translation occur simultaneously in prokaryotes, whereas in eukaryotes, coupled transcription and translation is not possible. Coming to the next point, as we have already studied, transcription in prokaryotes takes place in cytoplasm, whereas in eukaryotes, it occurs in the nucleus. In prokaryotes, there is no definite phase for the occurrence of the transcription, whereas in eukaryotes, it takes place in G1 and G2 phases of the cell cycle. Coming to the prokaryotes, a single RNA polymerase synthesizes all the three types of RNA, that is mRNA, tRNA and rRNA. In eukaryotes, RNA polymerases 1, 2 and 3 synthesizes rRNA, mRNA and tRNA respectively. Now let us discuss about the stages of the transcription. There are 3 stages of transcription. They are initiation, elongation and final stage is the termination. Let us discuss about each and every stage of transcription in detail. First, let us discuss about the first stage, that is the initiation. In initiation, firstly what happens is the RNA polymerase binds to the specific DNA region called promoter site to initiate the transcription. After the polymerase is bound to the promoter site, 2 DNA strands unwind at that particular site and the enzyme starts transcribing the template strand. So please remember the RNA polymerase enzyme, which is most important here. Let us discuss about initiation by looking at this picture. This is a specific site in the double-stranded DNA molecule that is called as promoter site. So RNA polymerase, what it does is it recognizes this promoter site. After recognizing, RNA polymerase will go and bind to the promoter site, and once it binds there, it unwinds the 2 strands of the DNA molecule. So RNA polymerase is separating the DNA strands at the promoter site. Thus the transcription process is initiated. Now let us discuss about the next stage, that is the elongation. In elongation, what happens is the RNA polymerase moves along the DNA template and sequentially synthesizes the RNA chain. 2 events are being taking place in the elongation process. First is DNA is unwinding ahead of the moving polymerase and helix is reformed behind it. So the job of the RNA polymerase is to unwind the double-stranded DNA molecule at promoter site and forming the new helix of the RNA. So RNA polymerase adds the nucleotides in the 5' to 3' direction. New helix of RNA which is formed peels away as a double helix reforms. If we can see in this picture, this is an RNA polymerase enzyme which is binding at the promoter site and separating the 2 DNA strands. After that, it is forming a new helix of the RNA. So this RNA polymerase is adding the nucleotides to this RNA in 5' to 3' direction. So please remember, it is adding in 5' to 3' direction. So again here, this is a RNA polymerase which is unwinding the two DNA strands, of which one strand is non-template strand of the DNA and the other strand is a template strand of the DNA. This template strand will help in the formation of the new RNA. So new RNA is formed from the template strand of the DNA. Coming to the last stage of the transcription, that is termination. Termination, the name itself suggests transcription is being stopped here. So transcription is stopped when RNA polymerase reaches a section of DNA called terminator. So what is a terminator here? Terminator is nothing but the sequence of the nucleotides AAUAA. So once the RNA polymerase reaches this sequence, transcription is being stopped. So once the RNA polymerase reaches a terminator sequence, transcription is being stopped. So after the transcription is being stopped, RNA strand is released. And what happens to the RNA polymerase? It dissociates from the DNA. And finally the RNA strand which is released will go through more processing. So RNA which is released is undergoing the RNA processing. So let us know what is this RNA processing. So first of all, what is happening is from DNA, mRNA is formed. We have seen that. So what is that mRNA? That is a pre-mRNA. That pre-mRNA has got two types of components. They are introns and exons. What are these introns and exons present in the pre-mRNA? Let us know about this. Firstly, the introns. It is a non-coding section of the nucleic acid found between the coding regions. So please remember, introns are nothing but the non-coding sections. So what are exons here? Exons are the coding regions of the nucleic acids. So pre-mRNA never leaves the nucleus in this stage. So please remember, introns are the non-coding sections and exons are the coding sections. So introns being the non-coding sections, we don't require them. So the introns should be excised from the pre-mRNA. So the introns are excised by a process called as splicing. So after the introns are being removed by the splicing, exons which are left over on the pre-mRNA are joined together. Finally, all the exons which are the coding regions together form the mRNA. Finally, mRNA is formed. So if you can see in this picture, this is a double-stranded DNA having both introns and the exons, from which the pre-mRNA is formed, which is also having the introns and exons. So exons being the non-coding regions are to be excised. After the exons are excised, introns which are left over are joined together, finally forming the mature mRNA. So that was all about the process called as transcription. Now let us discuss in detail about the next process called as translation. So what is a translation? It is a process in which formation of the polypeptide, that means protein, is formed by decoding the mRNA produced in the transcription. So where it is happening? It is happening in the ribosomes. When does it begin? It begins after the mRNA enters the cytoplasm and it uses a tRNA as interpreter of the mRNA. So mRNA formed from the transcription enters the cytoplasm and reaches the ribosome finally to form the proteins. This process is called translation. Now let us discuss about the phases of translation. There are 4 phases of translation. They are initiation, elongation, translocation and finally termination. Let us discuss about each and every phase of translation in detail. Firstly, about the initiation. This initiation process brings the mRNA and the tRNA bearing the first amino acid of the polypeptide and the 2 subunits of the ribosomes are brought together in the initiation. So what are the components involved in the initiation? The components are the 2 subunits of the ribosome and the mRNA and tRNA, which is in the charged form. And apart from this, there are other 2 factors, of which first factor is the initiation factors. There are 3 initiation factors. It has initiation factor 1, 2 and 3, and the other one is the GTP. Now let us discuss about the initiation process by looking at this picture for the better understanding. First of all, there is a 30th subunit of the ribosome, that is a smaller subunit of the ribosome. To this 30th subunit, firstly the GTP and also the initiation factors bind. So the initiation factors and the GTP bind to the 30th subunit. After this, what is binding to the 30th subunit? That is the initiation tRNA. After this, mRNA goes and bind to the 30th subunit. So this mRNA, where it will bind? It will bind on the mRNA binding site on the ribosome. All of these together form a complex. After this complex is formed, the bigger subunit of the ribosome, that is the 50th subunit of the ribosome, will come and bind to the mRNA. That subunit has A site and also the E site. So in this way, all the ribosomes are being assembled together. So these assembled ribosomes have got two tRNA binding sites. They are A site and also the E site. What is A site here? It is the acceptor for the amino acyl group, and E site is a donor for the polypeptide chain. And what is this A site responsible for? To this A site, incoming amino acyl tRNA molecules come and bind. Whereas on the E side, we can see the growing polypeptide chain. So what is a major outcome of the initiation? It is a placement of the initiation tRNA in the P site. So first of all, the tRNA has to come and bind on the P site of the ribosome. And the start codon is the AUG. And the start anticodon against to this is UAC. Now where does a small ribosomal unit attaches? It attaches to the 5' end of the mRNA. So again here, if you can see in this picture, this is a start codon which is present on the mRNA. What is a start codon here? That is the AUG. For this, the start anticodon is UAC. So the initiated tRNA recognizes the start codon and comes and binds to the start codon of the mRNA. After this, larger subunit of the ribosome comes and binds to the RNA, finally forming the translation initiation complex. That was about initiation. Now let us discuss about the elongation. If you can see in this picture, previously we have studied, firstly there is a start codon. To this initiated tRNA having the anticodon will come and bind to this. Then later, next to the start codon, there is a CCG. To this, the next incoming tRNA will generate the anticodon, that is a GGC. So this tRNA having the GGC anticodon will go and bind to the sequence next to the start codon. This is how the next codons of the RNA are recognized by the tRNA and the elongation process continues. So for better understanding of the elongation process more, let us look into this picture. Here, as we have studied previously, AUG codon is the start codon. Next to that is a CCG, which is recognized by the another tRNA. And the next codon here is a UAU. For this, there is an anticodon, that is AUA, which is present on the tRNA. So this process of codon recognized by the anticodon continues until it reaches the stop codon. Stop codon here is the UAA. That was about elongation. Now let us discuss about translocation. So the tRNA with the polypeptide chain in the A site is translocated to the P site, and the tRNA at the P site moves to the E site and finally leaves the ribosome. Now the A site becomes the empty and the tRNA is being removed from the E site. And how the ribosome is moving? Ribosome moves down the mRNA in 5' to 3' direction here. So this is how the tRNA is being translocated and finally leaving the ribosome. Now let us discuss finally about the termination. In the termination, there are certain factors involved. They are nothing but the protein factors. These protein factors called release factors interact with the stop codons. So the protein factors called the release factors interact with the stop codons, and finally when they interact with the stop codons, they cause the release of the complete polypeptide chain. So once the ribosome reaches the stop codon, the termination happens and finally the translation is being stopped. If you can see in this picture, this is a stop codon here. UAG, UAA and UGA are the stop codons. This is a tRNA bearing the polypeptide chain. Usually this tRNA has to come and bind to the codon, but because it is a stop codon, instead of tRNA, release factor will come and bind here. So after that, what happens is the release factor hydrolyzes the bond between the tRNA in the P site and the last amino acid of the polypeptide chain. So the release factor separates the polypeptide and the tRNA. And finally, the bigger subunit of the ribosome and also the smaller subunit of the ribosome also dissociate. So this is how the termination occurs after the ribosome is reaching the stop codon. So this was all about the stages of the translation. So finally, in a nutshell, discussing about the central dogma. Firstly, from the double-stranded DNA, single-stranded mRNA is formed. This process is called as transcription. From the mRNA, finally protein is formed. This process is called translation. So from the DNA, mRNA is formed. From the mRNA, proteins are formed. This was all about the topic transcription and translation, and thank you.